Alright, Grimoire, what do you have for us?
Resurrect the elemental Empyreans. True. If we do that, we might be able to suppress Inominat's domain.
It may even liberate the minds of the Malachim that Inominat has under his control. I'm sure some will no longer obey their exorcists.
Good. We'll take a big bite out of their forces.
More importantly, Inominat will lose the ability to enhance the resonance of his exorcists. Most exorcists will no longer even be able to perceive Malachim at all, just like before. Of course, anyone as innately gifted as me is another story.
Will I become unable to see Laphicet?
We won't know until we try.
Eleanor? Then let's give it a shot. I'll accept whatever happens.
But these elemental Empyreans, they're gods, right? You sure it's okay to disturb their beauty sleep?
They control the four elements. Waking them is likely to upset the balance of the world quite a bit.
I'll take that as a no then.
We don't even know how to revive them. At worst.
If it's anything like the opening, then we need to offer a sacrifice at the Earth Pulse on a Scarlet Night.
We have to kill someone?
The act of killing is not essential to the ceremony. All that's needed is a soul free of malevolence.
If that's true, then doesn't Velvet already have a whole belly full of them?
The exorcists I devoured.
It's perfect. You're a Therian. You're capable of releasing the power you absorb. The souls of the high-ranking exorcists you ate should do nicely.
Use Oscar and Teresa's souls to resurrect the Empyreans?
It's worth a try at least. When's the next Scarlet Night? 3 years after the Advent. In other words, soon.
Do we have enough time? The four Empyreans are asleep in different places, right?
Correct. 4 Earth Pulses for 4 Empyreans. But if you use a life pool, you may be able to awaken all 4 at the same time.
A life pool?
Earth Pulses normally flow horizontally, but in exceptionally rare cases, they can flow vertically. This causes energy to collect at the Earth Pulse's base, forming a life pool. Though sometimes the energy flows the other way, upward, into what's called a life spring.
Oh! So if we make use of one of these life pools, a single sacrifice could reach all 4 Empyreans.
Where are they? There's a life pool in the northern reaches of Midgand, but I heard a large temple was built over it recently.
That's the Empyrean throne! We can't go there, it's Inominat's home base!
Most unfortunate.
Couldn't we use a life spring? It all connects to the same place, right? We'll have to go against its flow, but...
We'll force the soul right down its throat.
Where's the nearest life spring?
Our best bet would be Mount Killerhouse.
Eisen?
I'm fine. What's done is done.
Killerhouse? That's the volcano on the northernmost tip of Northgand, but it's a hellscape of ice and lava!
Naturally. Killerhouse is the most powerful life spring there is.
So, in short, we shove the souls of the exorcists into the molten core of that volcano.
That should awaken the 4 elemental Empyreans. Together, they will seal off Inominat's domain. It's just a theory, but...
It's one I'll put my money on.
Me too.
Then we're off to Northgand. Mount Killerhouse is north of Helives.
We've got a decent pool of money, too. I kind of felt like they were just making crap up as they went along, plot-wise. Like, oh, the only way to defeat that guy is to deal with those guys, but they're connected by magic string across the galaxy that'll connect to this point, so that just means going here will eventually beat the bad. Like, there's so many levels that are all brought up step by step that like have been relevant until now, and it's like so weirdly complicated to just say ultimately like we're gonna go attack that one place. It's there's a lot of machinations going in the background because they've had so many overlapping explanations for how the world works now that now they have to deal with it.
The ship's ready to sail. Where are you headed?
We don't have a problem. If you've got a grudge, we can settle it here and now.
Huh? Why would we have a grudge against you guys? The first mate fought like the first mate. The captain died like the captain, right?
I suppose.
Then no swabby here can blame you for what happened. We're Aifread's pirates, and don't forget it. We're not so pathetic that we need pity from some Lord of Calamity.
All right. The ship's in your hands.
Aye aye. You can count on us.
On one hand, I'm all like, dear lord, that's complicated and convoluted, but on the other hand, as somebody who just played the entire Mass Effect trilogy, hyping up for the release of Mass Effect Andromeda, and has then had the soul-crushing experience of how Mass Effect Andromeda loves to contradict and oversimplify and just ignore the machinations of how its own world works, I kind of respect that Berseria will just be like, nope, we're gonna just delve into the exact explanation of how all this crazy crap works to explain what we're gonna do next, because we actually care about the details of our own world. Because I miss that in my favorite franchise right now.
The Von Eltia looks the same as ever. But it feels utterly different, doesn't it?
Yeah. Even Benwick looked like he'd been crying.
I can imagine. But if we let ourselves despair now, we'd be a disgrace to Aifread's creed.
We have to swallow our anger and grief, and sail on.
Right. Following a creed isn't always pleasant. We must do what we must.
I won't allow the Abbey to do things like this. Destroying someone like that. Turning them into a puppet. It's unconscionable.
Still, a heart can never be fully bridled. It can be shattered, but never erased entirely.
Aifread proved that. Right. His body is gone, but he lives on through his crew. Magilu is right. What lives in one's heart can never be erased.
Yeah. The heart is eternal.
I see. Orichalcum or not, Stormquell snapped like a twig.
I'm afraid so. It was Inominat who did it. But I think Shigure could have done the same.
So hardness alone isn't enough. Forgive me. I thought I had found clarity, but it was only foolish pride.
You should be proud. You are, without a doubt, the greatest swordsmith in the world. I'm looking forward to your next blade.
Even now, you would still place your trust in me.
Of course. Is there any other swordsmith who could craft a blade out of orichalcum? You're a master of your art, a visionary who spent centuries working to forge a blade of legend. I'm honored to know you.
I don't know what to say.
Unless, of course, you've given up on making a sword to surpass Stormhowl.
Does this look like the face of a man who's given up?
Not in the least.
We're making good time.
The only problem is that ceremony that Arturius was going on about. We don't know how long it'll take.
Aifread said they called it the ceremony of suppression. Most likely, it's how Inominat plans to release his power.
Most likely. He hasn't absorbed Laphicet in your despair, so Inominat should still be incomplete. But if his powers fully awaken...
Humanity will be robbed of their free will.
I can hear them celebrating now. The uglinesses of the human soul are suppressed. And the world is free of malevolence! Hurrah! Hurrah!
Robbing humanity of its will. They'll be like I once was. Something's coming!
guys, let's not fight!
This is a domain?
Inominat's domain.
Their wills have been stolen.
It's not been fully sealed away yet. Rokuro, give him a good smacking. Wake him up!
On it.
Aizen!
Got it. We'll put in at the nearest harbor. To Port Zexon!
I feel like some jerk played tug of war with my brain.
Dig up some spirit. They're trying to strip away your will.
Oh no!
Look! It's that merchant! You're all right!
I do not deserve to be all right. I used people, stepped on them just to make a profit. I even aided wanted criminals so that I could expand my business. My soul is black with ugliness and can never be forgiven.
Huh? No, wait!
The world needs to be purified of malevolence. I don't belong here. I have to die. I have to die. I have to die.
No, it's not right!
Oh!
You can die if you want, but saying you have to die is a good way to make my blood boil.
Those awakened to their own malevolence seek to end their lives. Welcome to Artorias' uncompromising world of reason.
First they steal humanity's rudder, and now they want to say who lives and who dies?
We should find out what's happening here, unless you'd rather not see.
You're right. I wouldn't. But I won't hide from the truth any longer.
Before anything else, we'll need to confirm just how far his power reaches. Let's head to Logris.
Inominat suppression. Is this the ideal world the Abbey envisions?
Bien! There's no life in anyone's eyes! This isn't a fun place at all!
It's not just people's minds being shackled. They're being forced to die, too. It's terrible.
Why would dying be part of anyone's ideal world?
Even under such strict control, new sins can still rise to the surface. If that happens, it's better to end the life of the sinner. Melchior came to the same logical conclusion.
What utter rubbish.
Anyway, we need to get to Logris.
What's going to happen to the world? How far will Inominat's power spread?
When his domain expanded, I felt a faraway power suddenly come closer. It was enough to blot out the whole sky. I'm sure it's covered other towns too.
His domain has certainly extended to at least the entire populace of this country. Otherwise, what would be the point?
That means what happened at Port Zexon is happening everywhere.
Everyone is either a puppet, or...
Dead by their own hands.
Inominat created this ideal hell in a single moment. That's the power we're up against.
So we few are standing against a truly monumental force.
This is your last chance to turn back.
Turn back to what exactly?
Forward or back, we're headed into hell either way.
At least this way, I'll have my own free will. I'd prefer a living damnation to that oblivion.
Well, don't come crying to me later.
Let's move along then.
So this is the result of their ceremony of suppression.
Seems that way. They've brought their peace to mankind.
How's that for a climactic moment? In one instant, almost out of nowhere, we hit the point where everyone is dying. Everyone in this entire area has lost their will, seemingly, and countless hundreds or thousands of sinners are all committing suicide as we speak. It's a hell of a lot more grim than most of what happens in Zestiria. The dark moment of that playthrough, more or less, is, oh, war happened. Which is like vanilla compared to mass mind-controlled suicide like a M. Night Shyamalan movie. I have sinned. I am a vile, selfish soul. I must die. I must die. I must die. He's always tougher than boiled leather. To see him like this, I feel so dizzy. I'm not sure whether to blame Inomata or Rokuro's beating. So those are the pirates then. I thought for a second there might be a third party who was like calling for him to kill himself or something because they were also mind-controlled, but not in this case. Alright. Oh jeez. Everyone's so organized, it's kind of terrifying. So, which town are we in? Right. Right, this is where we destroyed the supplies, and Eleanor was trying to stop us along the way. It was right over there. Oh, I've been here recently enough that the chest is still open. Weird. It's, this came up a while ago, but as a minor detail, I find it weird that the game keeps trying to spout that one blacksmith is like the best blacksmith in the world, but he's apparently a blacksmith, doesn't understand that like weapons of war should have be made of flexible material so that they don't instantly break. Like, it's weird, like, I think that's been reinforced as a thing that people know, but this amazing blacksmith doesn't know that. I'm like, maybe he's not an amazing blacksmith.
I was a fool for trying to sell commemorative chalices to the people visiting the Empyrean's throne. Happiness can't be bought with ill-gotten gains made through deception. In an effort to change my malevolent ways, I sold my shop and entered the holy priesthood. Rather than pursue my own greed, I've chosen to dedicate my life to bringing the sacred teachings to all.
Wow, look how shiny and pure he is. So this is what happens when Inomata suppresses all of someone's sins and desires.
How nauseating. And this is the kind of world they're trying to create.
It's messed up that they has him commit suicide, because like, if you have such strong control over someone that you can make them commit suicide, surely at that point you've already hit the point where you can suppress their sins and from them doing anything that they're not supposed to. If you can literally make them kill themselves, like you have that level of control but you can't make them stop sinning, that doesn't even make sense. The suicide part's kind of just nuts. It's like they just wanted to make it darker, honestly, because that's like an extra ridiculous layer. Thank you. Oh, mind-controlled children. I must work for the many, for the many, for the many. System Shock 2. It's terrifying. We will become one of flesh.
Hey, you're Kakiku's menagerie.
Ooh, close. It's Magilu's menagerie.
I apologize for always demanding that you entertain me, despite my inability to even remember your name correctly. I'm also sorry to you, miss, for always insisting you do that tedious little bird impression of yours. I feel so bad I could just punch myself. Nay, I must.
I'm not sure if I'm more angry or confused.
It is wrong to seek pleasure from viewing petty tricks and pointless entertainment. Honest hard work alone is right. Someone such as I, who was unable to live in accordance to the simplest of truths, should disappear from this earth. Please, use that special trick you told me of. Make me disappear forever.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Please kill me forever because I wanted entertainment. What a great world. I wonder if, I mean, I don't know if Arthur would have seen any of this craziness yet, but if he saw the state that things are actually turning out in, would he still be like, yeah, this is what I wanted. Nailed it. Or would he be like, oh god, what have this was not it. The mass suicide thing was like not part of what I thought was going to be making the world better. Whoops. Also, look at us being all kick-ass and suppressing all the malevolence. You can tell we suppressed the malevolence because there's no demons now. Oh wait, they're everywhere. Oh god. We don't even get the benefit from that part of the situation.
We must accept that we all grow old. I can no longer perform the physical labor that allowed me to benefit society. I no longer deserve to live here. I must find a place far from others. There, I will await a quiet death.
This isn't someone accepting that they'll grow old. This is him refusing to grow old.
If this spreads, we'll have no more old people at all.
Wow, so it's not even sin now. Literally anyone who is in any way, like, wrong or weakened or not good for society entirely just immediately kills themselves because they're not helping society anymore, even if it's like stuff you can't avoid.
Consume precious resources and grant no tangible benefit to society. That's why I say we should throw them all back outside. It's only right.
I threw away my friend's entire pet beetle collection. They have been purged. This is all for the new order.
But I want to keep my rhinostagros.
Oh my god. What are they looking at? I hope that's just discarded beetles or something. Because when they talked about pets not giving it back to society and they're staring at a piece of land here, I thought they killed and buried their dog or something. I'm like, what the fuck? That's like the worst part so far.
It was the height of foolishness for a low-born person like me to hold on to romantic fantasies about Prince Percival. I should seek a male companion suitable to my social status, and live a life free of pointless desire and pride. Form, beauty, appearance, all are superfluous. Reason dictates that I seek a biological partner who lets me live my life with greater efficiency.
While what she's saying isn't technically wrong, it really creeps me out.
It almost feels like we're playing Nier Automata now, where every single character is some sort of weird logical extreme of whatever they started out as. It's like when you're talking to the robots and they're all saying completely insane things most of the time. This is messed up. Alright, I guess we just gotta keep pressing deeper.
Even the capital is silent as death.
Inominat's power did all of this. A god among gods.
We should check in on the Thieves Guild people.
Fountains are purely decorative and serve no purpose to the collective good of mankind. They must be purged.
Not just the fountains. The streets and houses are filled with unnecessary extravagances. Comfort is another word for vanity. It is a lie that breeds only envy and war. All vanity must be purged.
Yes, we cannot let ourselves be ruled by desire. We must control ourselves and lead lives of purity.
If they keep abandoning desire after desire, eventually they'll abandon even their desire to live.
Half the people we've talked to have already decided to just stop living. Oh no. Is that the thing I was worried about? I think that's the thing I was worried about. Eliminate what is worthless. Now that it's so hungry it can't move, I'll... No, that's so... What the fuck? They're rounding up the dogs to kill them. Nope, that's just actually happening now. Great. Hey, Thieves Guild people, guys. How you doing? Uh-oh.
I knew it. I said all along that taverns are dens of evil. Now there is no one left who desires that demon drink. It clouds man's judgment and causes good people to fall into corruption and sin. It should never have existed. Taverns shall now only live on in history books.
I've always opposed the sale of nectar and intoxicating drinks. From now on, those places once known as taverns should be used to distribute food equally to all.
Flavor is irrelevant. It is enough for food to fill the stomach and contain the nutrients necessary for survival. Food is not something that should be enjoyed.
But eating is part of being alive. If you can't enjoy your food, how can you enjoy your life? I don't want to live like that.
I must atone for my sins, I must atone. But, Mistress Tabitha, my family, forgive me. Where is Tabitha? Is she upstairs? Did she run? My companions atoned for their sins in this room. Now I must do the same. That is reason, but I'm so scared. Mother, please. So that room's full of dead people. That room's full of the bloodwings that are all killing themselves. This is real fucking dark real fast. Where do I want to go next? I guess that's... Next step is to head up these steps. What's even left of society, and when do they realize who I am and attack me? Because I feel like that's inevitable.
Isn't there anyone here who still has free thought? I hope so. There has to be.
That was a child.
Mommy! I'm scared! Mommy!
Don't show any feelings, dear.
If they spot you, they'll...
Prince Percival! Tabitha!
You're still you!
Minion of Prophecy. So they have creepy... They've got like these creepy nightmare angels that come in and slaughter anyone who expresses emotion. Great. Time to destroy! Oops. Oh my god, that looks amazing. That adorable candy murder attack. Works for me. Keep the combo going. You're not very durable for a dead thing, are you?
I had no problems here.
Tabitha, your mind's still your own?
Yes, somehow. But Prince Percival and that girl...
Looks like those Malachim took them away somewhere.
The prince was trying to help us get away. He said that the Abbey was gathering those who still had control of their own will at the villa.
We need to go after the prince and see just what's going on at the villa.
We don't know what sort of defenses they have at the front gate. Let's sneak in through the back.
Good plan. Back into the catacombs, then.
You got it.
Gotta slip another dungeon and run in there somewhere, right? So rescue her in from the villa, which we get to via somewhere. That's the inn, the tavern, something else. There's the catacombs. All right, looping back around that way then. I refuse to believe that an enemy so easily dispatched was something we had to fight one-on-one. We should have been able to save Percival just fine by fighting two of them at once or so on. That's creepy though. How creepy would that be to have everybody simultaneously lose their will and stop behaving normally, and then have like shock troopers going around taking out anybody who doesn't immediately act like they're brainwashed. It actually, what is it? Actually, I think that's basically the plot of Divergent, which is a terrible movie. Just a terrible, terrible movie. But that more or less happened at one point. Because, yeah, an actual plot point in that movie / book or whatever is that at one point everyone who's not Divergent suddenly goes mind control and is useless out of nowhere. And then anyone who was Divergent, like, because they still act like normal people, like they're all getting hunted down. So I guess I've seen it before.